Rich people of Reddit who married someone significantly poorer. What surprised you about their previous way of life? My so said today I made rent, meaning today I've earned enough, accumulated enough to pay the rent, and I realized that this is a monthly accomplishment to someone with no fixed income salary. I fell in love with my uni best friend who really didn't have any money. When I got a job for my birthday, I decided to plan a holiday and offered to bring him along. It didn't even occur to me that this was his first ever holiday he'd ever taken. His family could never afford it growing up, and he'd never really thought to do it as an adult. Edit, rip inbox. Thank you all for the love and support. When we moved in together, I found out that she was putting her share of the rent on her credit card, with no real plan for how to pay it off. Edit, if you're coming in here to say you can't pay rent on a credit card or you were her plan, lem save you a few keystrokes. Don't. Honestly. Food insecurity. When we were first married, she would get visibly uneasy if the food in the house was running low. She never overate or anything. She was just always concerned about it. A lot of times when she was younger, she went hungry. On the humorous side though, she hates camping. Her answer is always the same. I camped because it was fun. She camped because they couldn't afford hotels. I'm from the poorer family, not super poor. But my in-laws have a stupid amount of money, so by comparison I'm very poor. But I think I can answer for her. We have 2 young kids. And my wife was shocked when I said we should look for clothes and toys for them at local flea markets and garage sales. The idea never occurred to her that we could save money by getting some gently used items. She had never even been to a garage sale in her life. She has grown to love them and now questions whether it is worth it to buy any item new or not before running to Amazon or a store. Her parents think it's disgusting we make our kids wear clothes that another child had before. But they don't pay my bills. Long-term dating. Pets. I was always surprised by the number of pets she and her family had living in the trailer and how much of a share of their income they spent on them. I didn't marry this woman, but when we started dating, she always wanted to chill at my place. Never hers. Which was fine. But she gained 35 pounds in just like a few months of dating. She was 100 pounds when we started dating. Not that it was a bad thing. 1. I am a chubby man, and 2. I was just glad she wasn't pregnant. Anyway. Turns out her family couldn't afford dinner sometimes. So suddenly she had a place to eat every night and gorged herself. I dated a 1% heir briefly. She was surprised I willingly went inside fast food restaurants. Edit, since people are saying 1% is still a huge range in income, I just looked up her daddy pulls in $10 million a year. I'm not dating her, but she's a good friend of mine. And her parents are definitely 1% heirs. I told her I had to work this summer to save up for a graduation trip and that money was gonna be tight for the next year. But I'd love to go on a safari after graduation if I managed to save enough. Mind you, I'm solidly upper middle class. Her parents paid for it just because I'd helped her move into her apartment. It's not like that's what friends are for or anything. I'm from an upper middle class American family and my husband is from a poor Asian family. It is hard for me to wrap my head around how poor they really were when he was growing up. He told me about eating only rice with sugar for meals because they couldn't afford meat. They were probably living off less than $0.50 a day for a family of 5 at times. I am not well off, but my stepfather is. I was raised by a single mom who spent money on everything and bills were always behind. She just couldn't manage her money at all. In her 50s she met and married a multi-millionaire. We are in middle America, so that goes further than maybe in a lot of areas. They have given themselves $10,000 a month budget to live on, living on interest. Own their home. Anyway, once my mom met him and they got all her finance situated and paid off, she won't spend a penny. He spends like it is going out of style. He has actually begged me to take her shopping to get clothes and accessories. She won't do it. She spent more when she was a single mom with nothing. It makes no sense to me. At least buy a new outfit. She is hell-bent to not use a penny of his money. They barely even have any groceries. If they have anything, it is because he buys it for them. She is a retired nurse that gets a retirement and SS, but she won't spend anything. She lives poorer now than any other time in her life. When the family had people over for dinner, if they ended the prayer before the meal with F. Capital H. B. Amen, it was a signal to let the children know that they don't have enough food for everyone. So take smaller servings and let the guests get a regular serving. FHB equals family. Hold back. They were always generous to their friends and didn't let their lack of funds embarrass themselves when doing so. I am on the other side, as I married a girl from a rich family. Although we both earn the same and I tend to worry about money savings future. Through the years I have realized that she worries less about it and still saves more and spends less than me. I feel like coming from a lower middle class family makes me think about saving more, but at the same time I spend money on things as I could not have them all before I got my own job. She and her mother lived with her grandfather to not be homeless because her grandfather owned a house. She was putting community college payments on her credit card and building debt with it. I paid off her credit cards when we were dating and she cried from me being so nice. It was only like $1,300. I bought a condo. Then we got married. Then we bought a house. I never really considered myself rich until I started dating her and learned that a trip to Wendy's was a treat. I grew up middle class. And we are currently middle class. Heh. I was with a girl for a while who grew up in a pretty broken home. Still surprises me just how bad her spending habits are. She racks up credit card debt like it's nothing. Same. Had an ex like that and she told me that she needed me to hold on to the money she earned because she would buy stupid it with it. Her family also spent money stupidly. Her mom would spend every day sleeping until whenever, smoking about a pack a day, and drive about 5-7 miles round trip in a Ford pickup truck for her twice daily coffee milkshake from Starbucks. Eventually they had to file for bankruptcy and she was still dumb with money. She would literally shop at the convenience store for groceries. 2-pack toilet paper for $1. Other random things for 3-4x the amount. More of a funny incident. But I was the poor one. My husband, at the time still boyfriend, took me out to a very nice restaurant. Waiter asked if I want pepper on my Caesar salad that was just made tableside. I said sure and he goes about it. Thing is, I didn't know you had to say stop. My husband slowly realizes this, but decides to see it play out. He did eventually say that I need to say stop. I just thought a Caesar was had this way, as it was my first time even eating a salad that wasn't just iceberg and ranch dressing. It still tasted fine. Just a little bit too much pepper, haha. She lived in the desert without air conditioning. Both came from poor backgrounds. Hubby now earns 6 figures. I still buy my clothes from a charity shop because I cannot ever fathom why you'd spend £400 on shoes and bags for a season. You can buy designer clothes in a charity shop if you know what you're looking for. I think Mans and Waitrose are just overpriced when you can get a trolley full of fresh food and eat like kings at Aldi for £100. I don't do takeaway food. Funny story though. When we first got together I was making a spaghetti dinner and grabbed a bottle of red wine off his shelf to add to the sauce. I didn't know what 45-pound bottle of wine was, and still think it tasted pretty ordinary. And I drink a lot of wine.